reason I ask is because I'm very like solopreneur right now. I'm just talking to Gary about this. Like and when I was asking him, I was like, you have an employee, you have entrepreneur, you have businessman.
Yeah.
And you guys almost seem like you're more of a businessman than entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is like creating this, now you guys are duplicating more. So I'm trying to figure out myself, like if I want to grow my company, I obviously need to start hiring and need to start thinking more like a businessman versus just somebody that's creating new things right now. Right? So that's why I asked, but what are the pitfalls of hiring locally versus hiring VAs? Like, what do you see as a pitfall?
I would say, like, yeah, there's a lot of different pitfalls or, like, pluses and minuses in general. Because, honestly, like, as part of an entrepreneur, the nice thing is your freedom. I mean, you're traveling right now. You're in Indiana.
Yep.
Whereas, like, if you got a business, it feels like you have more of an obligation to the people as well. So that's what I mean by, like, they make us better in a lot of sense. But also, on the other side, you sacrifice a little freedom. Of, like, I can't just go leave. Like, I'm financially, like, I got some money. I'll be okay. But I can't just leave them and, like, all right, guys, good luck.
Yep.
It's more of, like, I want to show up for them and I want to give them that, which in some sense kind of takes away a little freedom. And so it's like a double-edged sword for the business person. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think I was with a coach not too long ago who was talking about intellectual property and those sorts of things, and he broke it down as like you can be a practitioner, which is somebody who's like excellent at sales and it's just their thing and they just stay in their niche and they're just like, this is just me, and they're just highly skilled at their one thing. Then there's a business owner who's good at running a business and perfecting the business and getting the model to work really well. And then there's an entrepreneur who really likes to start things and then leave them.
Yep.
And then start something else and then leave that. And then start something else and then leave that. And just have those things continue to generate income for them as they go start new things. But they're not necessarily like, Dakota's kind of talking more about like being loyal to your people and having a sense of team and community and belonging and connection and like really feeling connected to your culture. And that's what's cool about having people local versus virtual assistants, where like virtual assistants come from a different culture. So it's almost like you're hiring a robot in a sense, because you're just like, hey, I'm not going to understand you or like really get to know you as well as, I mean, I don't know though, because there have been examples of like Kristen Stampini and Mark Stampini. They went out to the Philippines, built a school out there. They like go out there and connect with their team, and they try to create a sense of team and belonging. I also know they spend like 10, 20 hours just in meetings trying to get their teams to function like a regular team out here.
I know that Brian does that really well, is like connection to his VAs. Like I've listened to you guys on your own when we were in New York. I was listening to you guys on your calls. I've listened to Brian on his calls. Two different sets of, like you said, with different types of employees, and y'all operate a lot of the same way, right? So he is very connected in like, what are you happy for today? And he asks him like stuff like on a deeper level. He gets to know him, and his VAs love him, you know, because they're like, you know, every time I would go work for somebody, it's always like, call this person, say this script, you know, if you don't work out, you're fired, right? Where he's like, I want to get to know you on a deeper level. You know, I want to get to know, you know, about you. What are you happy for? What are you thankful for? How can I help improve your life? And I'm like, damn, that takes commitment. Like, I'm not that guy, and I know that, right? But like, I'm like, that's cool. You know, and you guys are kind of the same way on the local level.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Like, what kind of guy are you? What do you feel like you're more like then?
I'm more introverted. So like, I'm kind of like Ryan Pineda and I are kind of the same way when we go to like how we are with people. Like, we know we need to get out and talk, but at the same time, we don't get energy from it. It actually takes energy away from us, right? So I'm like on the PI, I'm very, I'm a venturer.
Okay.
Like, I like to innovate, I like to create, but I don't need people to bring me energy. Like, I am just like, I like people, don't get me wrong. There's a big difference between not liking people and not needing people, but I don't get any more energy from it, you know? So that's how I am.